So my dad was a huge part of my life. I think more than anything, he gave me the attitude of life. He just had a ridiculous love of life. I mean, one example is when he had his prostate surgery. And as we're waiting for him, he just had finished, and we actually saw him being wheeled into the recovery room. And as he went by on the gurney, he looks, he saw us, he gets out of his gurney and he waves to us like this. He would never let you know that he was in any kind of physical pain of any kind. It just wasn't his thing. And it's, I mean, that characteristic of him, you know, just always, you know, don't make a big deal out of it, everybody will be fine, I'm fine, was just him. We knew, you know, he's been somewhat sick for a while, and I think he lasted a lot longer than he should have. And I like to look at it as, rather than, you know, we're going to miss the time we didn't get with him, as far as, I'd rather see it as, I love the time that we did and the extra time that we did.
Matthew is the laughing guy. He can make me laugh at a snap of his finger. You just got to look at me and I start laughing. So he's the comedian of the family.
He's the one that would always be hard to eat dinner with, because everyone would start laughing. He would do something at dinner time, or he would see Grandma do something and then they'd start laughing, and Grandma would look, want to know, what in the world are these children laughing at? And I knew what they were doing, and I had to keep a straight face.
We'd just like to add that we lost 2 other people this year that we will miss dearly, and that's my Aunt Cheryl and Matt's Uncle Carl. And so we just wanted to say that we miss you all very much, and we wish that you were here on this special day with us.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where the sky was blue. I could see all around me, everywhere. I could see all around me, everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I'd never been nothing but tired.
We have a great group of friends.
Matt and I are very social people, and you know, we've always been able to meet people really easily, and because of that, I would say that we do have a lot of friends.
The great thing is, I mean, you kind of really realize that the person you're with is right is when their friends quickly become your friends, and there's no transitions. So yeah, so we keep our small group that we really like near us and close to us, in constant contact, and that we make, you know, some friends you don't see for 2 or 3 years, or you don't hear from them, but that's always nice. But these ones we like to keep in constant contact with. But unfortunately, none of them could make it tonight.
Here we are, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. We clean up and now it's time to learn. We clean up and now it's time to learn. Numbers, letters, learn to spell. Nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime, we will throw the ball. Back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our hide against the wall. Teacher marks our hide against the wall.
So I was going to talk about the 5 things that I love most about Matt. And when I started thinking about how long that would take, I figured I would spare all of you a really long, drawn-out, I think would be a very interesting thing to hear, but maybe you guys don't want to sit through it. So I've narrowed it down to the number 1 thing that I love about Matt. And it's going to sound very simple, but to me it's the most important thing in my life, and that is that Matt makes me laugh every day. That's, I don't think, something that most people have, and keeping the laughter in our house constantly is something that is such a gift that Matt's given me. I can be sort of a melancholy person for the most part, and Matt keeps me up all the time because he can inject humor into anything, any sad situation or frustrating situation, including me being mad at him. He can find a way to make it funny, and it really keeps me lighthearted, and that's a really important thing to me.
Well, there's so many things that I love about Amy. I'm going to concentrate on one thing that she said that I really think makes up her true person. When we decided to lease out the townhome and move to Vegas, and I was going to start in something new, a new career, we both knew that we were going to have to downgrade our lives a little. And rather than being upset or depressed or bothered, Amy just looked at me and she said, "I think being poor is romantic." And I guess I was surprised a little bit, but I think that statement kind of sums up who she is. Being poor is romantic. It tells me that she looks at me for who I am, not what I have. And being poor is romantic tells me that we can stay home, eat a hot dog, watch TV, and still enjoy our night together just because we are together. I believe pretty much that's who she is. That's what she appreciates, and that's what she's looking for. I've found the person that I don't have one single doubt about. If you've spent any time with us together, you've seen how much we really enjoy being with each other. So basically, to wrap it up with an old saying, no matter what my income will ever be, I will always be the richest man as long as I have her. Yes, I don't always have to throw them out there. I have a little emotional side of me too, and a little heart in there, not just zingers and poop jokes.
We'll meet where the sun goes to hide from the rain, from the rain, from the rain. Oh, the umbrellas in London couldn't hide my love for you. When everyone else is hiding, rainy Sundays drunk at 2. You'll whisper sweet lies to me, and one of them will be true. Oh, the umbrellas in London couldn't hide my love for you. The boom of the city at evening is still. You whisper, come to me, and I always will, always will, always will. All the rain in this town.
Jamaica.
Yep, well, we went to Jamaica. I guess you didn't know, right? But I had been planning that as our trip to get engaged.
Yeah. I was hoping that would. I remember actually telling my girlfriends like a month before we went, I hope Matt proposes to me in Jamaica, because we were talking about how we wanted to get married for a
we were there for about a week. We stayed at 2 different resorts, and the second resort we went to was really nice. We spent 3 days, and then the last night there were several different restaurants you could pick from, and so I just kind of said, "Oh, we'll just go to one of the a la carte restaurants," and so she was fine. I think, were you gonna, because some of them were formal and some of them weren't, and I think, did I tell you what to wear? Or
I
did
kept asking you what you wanted me to wear every night, and I decided I wanted to wear that blue dress because I wanted to take pictures at sunset on the beach in that dress. And you dressed real fancy.
And I dressed fancy, kind of, beach fancy. You know, we did the sunset because Amy wanted to do sunset pictures, which actually worked out perfectly for me because right where we were taking the pictures was where the private dinners were that I had booked for us. She had mentioned earlier, she was like, "Oh, we should do that," and she's like, "Maybe next time we come, we'll do the private dinner," and I had already had it booked. So we were waiting there, and you meet at a spot, and usually everybody knows, but since it was a surprise for her, I found the waiter, and I told him that it was a surprise. So he got everything ready, and he went to the table, and so I said, "Okay, well, let's go eat." And so Amy and I started walking to go to our dinner. And as we passed, we saw the private dinner setup, which is like, they have this whole path of candles and tiki torches at the thing and white tablecloth out on the dark beach. And I was like, "Oh, can we just go look at it?" She's like, "Okay." So we got a little close, and I was like, "Oh, we should take a picture of it."
And I was like, no.
Yeah, so
because I thought it was weird that we'd be taking a picture of someone else's dinner.
Waiter just kind of standing there, and I'm like, "Come on." And she's like, "Ugh." And I'm like, "Why don't we go sit in the seats and take a picture?" And I don't remember. You felt really uncomfortable. You're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. And then you were like, "Well, why don't we just go sit down?"
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the waiter was like, "Surprise."
Yeah, and then we had the dinner, and then earlier that day, there were the day before, beach bands play, and there are these Jamaican reggae bands that go up and down the beach, and they play for tips. And this one was a family that Amy really liked, and she even ran. She had to run back to the hotel room to get them a tip because you don't carry money there. So while she ran back to the hotel, I was talking to them, and I asked them if they would come the next night to play for our engagement dinner. So we had the dinner, and then as we were having the dinner, I still hadn't told Amy what it was about. She just thought it was a private dinner, and I think, I don't know, about 30 minutes into it, 20 minutes into it, the band came, and then they started playing, and I can't remember, I guess it was during that, I think I said if you haven't figured it out by now.
What happened was I said to you,
"Oh, that's right.
This is really special." And Matt thought I said, "Is this for something special?" So that's when he said, "Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, this is our engagement dinner." And then he said all kinds of sweet stuff that I don't remember because I was just so overwhelmed with emotion that I don't really remember what he said, but it was sweet, whatever it was. And then the next day we went and picked out my ring.
This time